and take him to the hospital. God knows why. It could be drug-related. He could have a seizure history. Don't bite me. Open your mouth. I'm going to make it a lot easier for you.
Debbie Perez is not allowed to pass judgment on her patients. Everyone gets treated to the best of her ability, even those who fight against her.
Stop biting it on it. Stop biting on it. Stop biting on it. Open up your mouth. Open up your mouth. Open up your mouth.
Often the most combative are drug abusers.
You're biting my finger off. You got to cool out a little bit.
New York City EMS treats alcohol and drug abuse as a disease. Trying to get the patient intubated is a difficult task, virtually impossible when the patient won't cooperate.
I got to get through like BBP for the rest of the day. I am BBP for the rest of the day. I am so full of vomit. This is so gross. I just want to take a bath really bad. Hit that thing behind you, guy. He's much better now. He really is. He's not seizing anymore, and his color's great.
An injury like that, I didn't see the motorcycle. I think he should have been dead. I think he survived. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of the helmet, the way he fell, the way he... But the injuries he sustained in this accident, I think he could have been dead. Nice to meet you. You got your key?
The nastiest thing is this right now.
Tubes, monitor, PDM.
This is the part that makes you realize that you're not getting near enough money for what you do.
After each call comes the dirty work. In this age of contagious diseases, the ambulance needs to be not only cleaned, but sterilized.
Bleach kills everything. I have some news that this blood is not coming up that well. The hospital found a syringe in his pocket with some drug or blood in it. They're not sure. He definitely did drugs, but I think he either shot cocaine or was using PCP, but it definitely shot something. I think he was shot cocaine.
For New York City EMS, every call is not a life or death situation. In fact, of the 1.3 million calls every year, just 400,000 are classified as serious. Cardiac arrest, choking, shooting, stabbing. The balance, 70% of all calls, are not life-threatening.
So I spoke to Shabella. She just told us to sit here and wait for a report from bomb squad, find out what's going on.
A report of a bomb in the subway puts ambulances on standby, waiting for injuries that most likely will not occur.
Did ESU get an idea?
Briefcase down in the subway.
Are they going to x-ray it and find out?
Yeah. We'll talk to Shabella.
Even though it's coming over as a minor burn, you never know until you get there what it is. So we always go lights and sirens.
Cops routinely turn problem street cases over to EMS for medical reasons. It's a bureaucratic passing of the buck. But EMS can't turn its back. When called to a scene, EMS must examine and assess patients and usually take them to the hospital. That's the rule.
I was sleeping, and I thought that the open door, the doctor was going to see me on my hand, and I get to eat when I go in. But then when I went in, this lady named Miss Maud, she got mad at me and started arguing with me and told me to get out. And I said I couldn't see the doctor.
After being refused medical treatment or food at a drop-in soup kitchen, this homeless girl finds herself in the hands of EMS.
So the police, they called the police, and the police called the ambulance for me. And they said they won't take me to the hospital.
The fire department gets called for garbage can fires too, so we just got to sort of take it all in stride. I haven't seen her hand. They say it's pretty infected, so she probably needs some antibiotics, and she probably does need treatment. But lots of people won't help themselves. You got to force them.
Okay.
Funny thing is that it's probably just some poor guy that's working at Wall Street now. He gets off the train and he goes, Jesus Christ, where's my briefcase?
That's it. Oh, just left yesterday's trading stocks in it.
That's probably what it is.
If it had been a bomb, if it had exploded, EMS would be on the scene to treat the wounded. But today, it's a waiting game that ends as a waste of time. Just a commuter that forgot his briefcase.
Package has been properly identified. The scene is secured, no injuries to report.
All units are being released back to 911.
Beautiful.
I need an ambulance because I got calluses on my feet and I couldn't walk.
What was the main problem today, the food or the hands?
The food and the hand, both of them. They wouldn't feed me in the open door either.
So you're going to the hospital hoping to get a little something to eat?
Yeah.
It's a problem because, we're tied up on this woman who doesn't need an ambulance, who has a problem but doesn't have a life-threatening problem. And while we're jerking around with her, someone in the same neighborhood who may be choking or having a heart attack doesn't get an ambulance. And then when we do get to them, they're angry, and understandably so.
You ready?
Adam Brines is an 8-year veteran of EMS, a trained paramedic working out of Station 13 in Midtown Manhattan.
A lot of these people, they really have the system down pat. And what they wind up doing is saying, yeah, he's not breathing, his heart's not beating, I think he's dead, when meanwhile he's just intoxicated and passed out on the street in front of, someone's restaurant, someone's home, someone's business. And these people call up because they want them removed. So we wind up turning into like a human sanitation.
In New York City, there are more homeless people living on the streets than in some small cities. 10,000 according to the Coalition for the Homeless, and EMS is their de facto healthcare provider, day and night.
Let's go see what kind of a patient we have. It's an intoxicated male. He's homeless. He usually goes around. He's got a wonderful card, assortment of his things that he collects on a daily basis. But we have to ascertain, now we're in a position, we have to make sure that he's alert and oriented. Usually they're not when they're intoxicated. If they're not alert and oriented, they have to go to the hospital. It's a liability for the city, it's a liability for us.
Oftentimes, the patients who most need help don't want it. Call into business RMA, refusal of medical aid, and AMA, against medical advice. This is when the real test of curbside manner begins.
Let me answer your question. You want to go to the hospital with us? I didn't think so. Yeah. Born with a history of seizures.
Really? How many years have you been drinking?
Since 1940.
Adam must convince this homeless man to leave his shopping cart behind, often a delicate negotiation, before they can take him to the hospital.
Mr. Baker, did you eat today? No? What was the last meal that you ate?
Yesterday morning.
Yesterday morning. You sure you don't want to come to the hospital? We'll get you something to eat.
What am I going to do with my wagon?
With your wagon?
Everything I got?
Well, I can't take it, so...
Once called, EMS must transport a patient to the hospital, unless a doctor on staff at EMS determines that a patient doesn't need medical treatment and gives the okay.
Is undomiciled, has no contact.
Hey, for the bird, brother, you come on.
Besides being just generally adamant about going, he is concerned about his property, which is all contained in a shopping cart with multiple bags tied to it. He has nobody that can secure his belongings, so he's concerned about it being stolen or taken by someone else.
Yeah, we don't want to have another seizure on the street and something will happen to you. So listen, we're going to take care of that cart. We'll put you into the ambulance. We're going to take you to the hospital. Yo, you get the stand chair, please?
Ooh, you know what? You got to be here in case you have another seizure. In the chair, you're just going to fall off.
Disregard the RMA, AMA. We are in the process of putting him on a stretcher right now.
Thank you very much. There's nothing as magic as street medicine. There's nothing like it, and you can't beat it as a doctor in the emergency room or as a surgeon. There's nothing like being somebody's